So we are going to see Styx up against his opponent, and they're going to be fighting for, again, the loser will get knocked out of the tournament, and the winner will go on to the lower bracket semifinals. And so this is going to be Styx versus Mevius, and the first game is going to be here on Radeon. Sweet. The shift tab is already still activated, so we have nice, beautiful colors. And Styx is still red. So, Radeon, 4-player map. We already talked about it in the last series, but essentially, eggs in the natural. E-train being this intersection here, and then this bridge. That's where a lot of the fights go down when the game kind of progresses past the early game. Styx is our red Zerg. We just saw him win the round 2 lower bracket round against Javi. And then we've got Mevius, our blue Protoss, who was just knocked down from the winner's bracket, or the upper bracket, and is still fighting for a shot at the semifinals and the finals in Brood War Tournament number 5. All right, let's get to it. We got some Protoss action. All right, Pylon going down here at the natural. Indicator of potential Forge expand. Overlord is heading south. It's going to be getting eyes on the Protoss base. We'll kind of see how Styx's ZVP is. Okay, looks like 9 pool. Probe's going to come up here. We'll see how annoying the probe is. It's like tradition. If you're a probe, you have to be mega irritating wherever you go. It's like a Protoss cultural thing or something. He's just going to hang out, dance around, probably see how long he can stay up here. And then there's going to be a drone and chase. So we do have the Forge going down. So what we're going to be seeing is probably a Forge, cannons obviously in like a line right here, maybe a gateway. That's kind of like where it deviates between a lot of players, is whether they go 1 gateway down here or up here, or 2 gateways. Against Zerg, we also see a lot of Stargate and Corsair play, so we'll have to see how it goes. Starts off with a cannon. The probe is going to see the expansion up here. So Nosy isn't under any, I guess, huge threat of anything crazy, like early layer tech. And we've got four Zerglings. 4 Zerglings running around. One of them chasing the probe. The other one's heading south. Probably park outside this base. See what's going on down here. Overlord has reached the main. It looks like we're going to be seeing an expansion at this point. Before any gateways. Alright, so Forge, double cannon, not gateway. Or yeah, Nexus. This Zergling still trying its damnedest. 6 just looking around. Getting eyes all over the map. Making sure there's nothing wild going on. It does look like 6 is going to be going for an early third here. Okay. So he opts to go for an early third that's relatively close. It has this high ground, has this ramp for defense. Sometimes you'll see the Zerg like run off into one of these not taken, like unoccupied corners. Try to secure one of those mains or the naturals. And we have the layer going down. Okay, so single gateway. We do have the gas finally being taken. Alright. Pretty standard Forge expand opening for a Protoss player. Now these Zerglings, they're not going to be able to do anything. 4 Zerglings, 2 cannons. I don't think there's big enough holes for him to just like run through and get up into the main, which is one of the bigger risks of doing this build. At least what I've seen is like you set up this awesome, super great fortress right here, but there's like a gap, and then they just take 8, 10 Zerglings and just whoop, completely bypass it. All right, so we're going to finally have a Zealot come out. We're going to have the Cybernetics core built somewhere. There it is. So, hey boy, you're asking what my favorite matchup is? Honestly, I think TVZ is probably the most fun to watch for me. Um, but I also, I don't know if I'm just a degenerate, but I really like TVT as well. Just because it's so methodical. I think that's a really fun mirror match. So I guess I would have to say my favorite mirror match to watch is TVT. My favorite matchup is TVZ. I think there's a lot of different variations of that match. All right, we have the Stargate coming out. We're likely going to see those Corsairs coming shortly after. Third base getting saturated. And it looks like we're going straight into Hydralisks. Hydralisk speed also on the way. Okay, Zealots are going to push out. We'll see if they go all the way. I wouldn't be shocked if he took these and kind of like poked around looking for a third. Macro Hatchery going down here at the natural. Really not a whole lot for, there's really not enough here with the 3 Zealots to be hyper aggressive. And there's really not a whole lot for the Zerg to really crack back with at this point. The 6, again, doing very well at droning up. The Zealots are going to be heading home. Okay, Corsairs are now on the field. All right, he's going to be bypassing this Overlord, unfortunately for him. But he is going to go right over here, and he's going to see this third. So that's huge. That's value in and of itself. Okay, he knows where the third is. He's like accidentally threading the needle between all of these Overlords. Now there's Hydralisk here, so this guy's not going to be able to hang out for too long. Not going to be able to snipe an Overlord. And we do have a little bit of a push out with, I think, an accidental drone and a bunch of Zerglings. I think this is more of just like a early warning group of Zerglings, though. It's also good timing to have these Zerglings out in the sense that you can prevent any type of third base expansion from the Protoss. Though I wouldn't be surprised that if Protoss did want a third expand, that they would take this one. Man, these Corsairs just not having any luck finding unescorted Overlords. Yeah, those drones, they're out here. They're helping. We got 2 more about to go help. Maybe not. Maybe they're heading home. All right, a little bit of a lull. Okay, so I think the biggest thing that we're about to see, though, is I think Protoss is going to be the initial person to push, right? I think Styx is gearing up for a Hydra bust. He's having to play a little bit cagey, knowing that the Corsairs are out. But we also have DTs and we have Storm on the way for our Protoss. We haven't looked at the Protoss base in a minute, and it's definitely, the infrastructure has really kind of popped off. Continuous Corsair development, which is going to be really important for these Dark Templar, right? They need to get the Overlords dead or out of the way. Now, Overlord speed has been upgraded, so they're going to be a little bit easier to protect. Finally getting a snipe out here. Oh, I say that. Completely jinxed it. Corsairs are forced away. They're going to try again. Only 3 Hydralisks up here. Does get 1 Corsair. Oh my gosh. So there's a bunch of limping Overlords around. And the Hydralisks starting to pile up. There's only 3 cannons here. But the Storms. This is going to come down big time to the Storms. Alright, the Hydralisks are starting their fight. They're coming in. The cannons, they're in range. They're going to be able to snipe off this Overlord. I don't know where those Dark Templar are. If they were sniped off somewhere. Okay, they're up here. Okay, they're preventing a 4th base. But this is a good amount of Hydralisks. These Zealots either need to get up in there, or the Storms need to start going off as soon as possible. High Templar gets knocked out. Still gathering energy. That was a decent hold. I imagine this is another Forge. Yep. Okay, so Forge being rebuilt in the main. And we're going in for a second round. Okay, cannons are opening up. They're opening up on the Zerglings, though. The Hydralisks are going to get some good shots off on these Zealots. Zealots hold positioning. That's completely fine. A little bit too close, but they are going to get this gateway. Where are the storms? This is a juicy storm target up here. Okay. Mevius continuing to build out infrastructure, getting more gateways. Trying to keep an eye on the map, see if we're missing any action anywhere else. Doesn't really look like it as of yet. Okay. Not bad. Came in. I think that was a relatively good trade. I don't think it didn't break the Protoss's back or anything. But Protoss is still stuck on 2 base. We have a lot of hatcheries going down, a lot of larvae that are going to be available for our Zerg player, and most importantly, a lot of lurkers. Ooh, check out this DT. Okay, it does look like its shields have been hit. This Overlord is still here. I don't know if he didn't see it or what, but it just gets sniped. Needed to run the Corsairs through first. Okay. The next wave is going to do, I think, a lot more damage here for our Zerg player. We've got a bunch of Hydralisks. We've got a bunch of Lurkers. And I haven't seen a Robo facility. There's no detection. The best that Mevius has to kind of fight the Lurkers is Storms. Yeah, I'm just double checking that I'm not missing it. Okay, we're getting the energy upgrade for the High Templar. This is going to help as they're being produced. They're not going to sit around. Lurkers getting a lot of good shots off. Hydralisk coming in. The Hydralisk back up. Just let the Lurkers do their work. Okay, now we're going to probably start seeing some leapfrogging going on. And the Protoss, look at this, just so consolidated to a single spot. Cannon's doing a good job of pushing him back. Okay, so Mevius recognizes, alright, there's Lurkers on the field. Time to get the robotics facility. Okay, so DT did get wiped out up here. It looked like Overlord and Hydralisk, there's probably more of them that came up, was able to knock that out so that the 4th base can go down. And the Corsairs are out and about again. Okay, 11 Hydralisks being produced at a time right now. But the production's still pretty significant here for our Protoss player. Mevius doing a really good job of spending all of his money. Styx having such a strong economy, he's having a tough time spending his. But he's getting that additional hatchery as well, and that's going to help a lot with the additional larva. This is looking like a pretty serious contain. Now, the observatory is finally going down, getting some detection for our Protoss player, but the Corsairs, there's no way they're going to be coming in here, pushing these away for any type of DT play. Looks like a few more Overlords might get sniped. No? Okay, Corsairs are being pushed off. Oh my gosh, I just want this fight to happen. This is going to be insane. Corsairs checking things out, making sure there's no crazy like Ultralisk tech or Hive tech. No, Styx is sticking to his guns, sticking to his game plan. Mass Hydralisks and Lurkers. But I do think he's at the point where he might be able to be more aggressive. This is a lot of Zealots. And this is a lot of Storms. And this is a tight choke. You might even see a Storm or two come out right now. No, okay. This is just people walking around because of pathing. Okay, Styx playing cautious, poking out on the map, seeing if he really does have his opponent stuck on 2 bases. Now, minerals, still a good amount of minerals. Mevius cramming every unit he can right here. And there's a Storm. Okay. He hits a Lurker. And the Observer's out. Okay, so he needs to keep these Observers alive. Because as soon as the Observers die, like, yes, the Storms are going to be helpful. Few Storms going down. They're good, but the Hydralisks are doing a good job of dancing. And they're doing a good job of drawing those Storms out. Now, if he was able to capitalize on that, get the Lurkers up a little bit further, I don't even know. Maybe that'd be the good move. Maybe there's too many Storms. But with the economy that the Zerg has, I feel like we could probably just start sending waves. But then there's also the school of thought of like, why? Like, let them come to you. And that's exactly what's happening. The Zealots are moving out. There's got to be something up here that's getting the detection. I'm not seeing it. There it is. And the Zealots are dying by droves, but they are cleaning up these Lurkers. Now we got some Storms. That was a juicy Storm. The Hydralisk popping like popcorn. And finally being able to stretch their legs. The Dragoons are coming out here. Ooh, but I don't know if the Observer went down. Oh man, this is a scrappy fight. Two armies just colliding in a tunnel right here. Okay, and it's stabilized a little bit. What's this guy shooting at? Oh no! Oh no, that's intentional. Okay. I was watching another game recently where it may have been decided because a group of Marines were accidentally shooting their own barracks when they were trying to fight Mutalisks. So, a little bit of scar tissue and concern of like watching a player accidentally move their own buildings. Okay, now if he can snipe this Observer, those need to be high value targets. Okay, these storms are doing so much work, but there's so much here. Oh my gosh, I want to see a storm dropped right there. He's hitting one lurker with that storm. The Dragoons are coming in. Great storm on the Hydralisk, really thinning the numbers, weakening them up. But oh my gosh, there's so many. Right now, trying to path through as many Protoss units as Mevius can. Getting another good storm, but kind of petering out, right? And I mean, how many freaking lurkers are up here? What is that, 11? All right, getting a little bit more aggressive with the lurkers, taking advantage of the initiative he has. Styx is pushing in, and he's killing the Protoss army. You can look at the supply, and Mevius sees it. Mevius taps out. GG 1-0 Styx. That was exciting. That was fun. All right, let's go into game number 2. Again, both these players fighting for their tournament life. Now, this is the same tournament as the last group that we watched. They're supposed to be playing the maps. Oh, no, this is correct. Okay, Death Valley is map number 2. All right. I already talked about this on the stream. I do split this up for YouTube, though, so just a quick overview of Death Valley. Death Valley is a really cool map to watch. Kind of sucks to play on. But in your main base, you have a large main base. There's some dead space in both of them that is a little bit exploitable by air, by drops. You can sneak some stuff in there. Very similar to kind of how Metropolis is. You have these assimilators, which is your initial access point out of your base to your natural. These can be destroyed to limit mobility by ground. On the other side of your base, you have another ramp that goes to, we'll call it the natural third base, which is blocked off by minerals. So you either have to glitch a worker through if you want to build a base down here, or mine through it, etc. Now, the map itself is split in half, which is what really makes it interesting. So the top portion that's accessible from the beginning of the game, which has these 3 bases on the mini-map, this one, and this one, is completely separated from all this dead space, dinosaur pond, cliffs, useless elevated terrain, cliffs, dinosaur pond, and then the rest of the map, right? So you see a lot of really creative things on this map. And then one other thing to note is it is a 2-player map, obviously. So both players have the opportunity to know exactly where the opponent is. So cool. That's my little spiel on Death Valley. Fun to watch, rough to play on. Now, it looks like our Protoss player is doing another Forge Expand. And this is another very tight choke as well. Drone is coming out. He's going to see that. Might turn around immediately, might come up. Okay, going to go all the way up into the main. No, he's not. Going to send the drone back home. Spawning pool is down. We have 6 Zerglings being made. I think we saw this last game as well. But it's different than how Styx plays ZVT. Obviously, the matchup is completely different, but it definitely shows that Styx is much more cautious in the early game versus Protoss than Terran. And rightfully so, but it's just a fun little difference to see. Hatchery going down at the natural. The probe is going to identify that. Really not out of the norm, but it does tell him that he's not going to probably be completely all-in. 2 cannons going down. That was very similar to last game. He did the 2 cannons and then the Nexus. And the 2 cannons is, I think, more than enough to kill these 6 Zerglings if they try to go through. But we do have a little bit of a gap this time. And I'm not an expert, But I imagine probably 3 of these could make it through if he just shot the gap. But parks a probe there and gets the gateway down. Okay, so that whole math, we don't have to worry about it anymore. Nexus, gateway. We'll see if he goes gas and Cybernex core again, or if he gets another gateway. I imagine he's going to do the gas Cybernex core because, like last game where we saw the Corsair play is just that much stronger on this map because of the way everything's all split up. So we did see a worker get pushed through here for an early third from Styx. So very similar to last game so far. Pretty much the same as last game. Some some drones hanging out. It's not uncommon for the Overlord as well to come hang out down here and just keep an eye on these minerals in the event that they start getting mined or they push a probe through. Probes can be pretty dangerous to get pushed through this because of the proxy capability of Protoss. It does look like the expansion's finishing up here. We see a probe transfer. We have a Zealot underway now. Yeah, so we'll see this Overlord probably head over here and probably park around this location. Yeah, it's going to be a nice, steady, standard game. I imagine we'll see Mutalisks for the very same reasons that we were talking about the Corsairs earlier, with this map just being very powerful for early flying activity. It's a bummer about these drones. They must be like right off screen, because I think your screen kind of looks like this. He's probably like hotkeying his screen back and forth. So, these guys, or you know what? They might be here intentionally to block in the event some Zealots run up. But he also has the early warning from the Zerglings. Okay, Zealot's going to push out here. He's going to be like, yo, what's up, Zerglings? And the Zerglings going to be like, go home. And he's going to do that. Getting a second gas. That's in preparation for his Stargate. So we're at 1 gateway, 1 Stargate. And the layer is almost complete. We'll see that Spire get dropped down. Oh, it's a Hydralisk Den. Okay, so last game, we saw the Lurker Hydralisks. I would have bet money that he was going to go Spire on this map. And you know what? Maybe he thinks that Mevius is thinking that too. But instead, no. He's going to go Hydralisks. A little bit tougher to cover all your Overlords. He's going to probably lose a good amount of vision because of the way the map is split. He did mine out these minerals, so he has drones heading down here to saturate his third. Got the good old-fashioned three Zealot push. Now, last game, this triggered a creep colony. I'm keeping an eye out for that right now. But it looks like he might be able to just get some Hydralisks out in time with some Zerglings. 2 Hydralisks, 3 Zerglings, a couple more Zerglings and Hydralisks on the way. Yeah, this isn't going to be terrible damage. Okay. Oh, and he goes hatchery. Okay. So he's going to have 4 hatcheries in play. Has his Hydralisk Den up. The Corsairs are out and running about. Being super annoying. He's going to see the third. Okay. So I'm curious to see what reaction we get from that. Knowing that the bottom half of the map has been opened up for the Zerg is often a trigger to open up your own bottom portion of the map, or at least have presence over there, which he's doing with the Corsair as of right now. Okay, so we do see that, right? We see this probe starting to mine these minerals and open up that bottom half of the map. A couple more gateways being built. Looks like we're going to be seeing Templar tech again. We have a DT being built. Corsair DT, always a good time. We didn't see the DTs do a whole lot last game. But they were kind of like running into little areas where the Overlords were, or getting caught off guard when it was sitting there waiting for a drone to show up. He had sent Overlords and Hydralisks first. So, got 5 Hatch Hydra coming out for Styx. His upgrades are up and about to be knocked out. We've got Storm on the way. He's about a little bit, he's got a little bit more work to get through these mineral patches. We've got the first ET out. All right, so he's going to take these Corsairs. Okay, I like this. So it looks like he's going to take these Corsairs, and he's going to try to push and corral all the Overlords away from this third base. and that's where he's going to send his DT. Now, he did use the DT last time to prevent a fourth, so he might just go park it somewhere as well. High Templar on the field, going to go secure the front. And the Corsair's looking for Overlords, looking for easy pickings, scouting out, keeping an eye on what's going on the field. We've got a whole train of Hydras running towards the front. These Corsairs are going to see it. Not sure what the reaction is going to be, but they might get knocked out of the sky, honestly. Nope. They divert, and here come the Hydras. So, last time, he didn't get a ton of damage with his Hydras until the Lurkers showed up. Now, he got kind of the free forge, he got the free gateway. Right now, he's targeting these cannons with great effect. Ooh, good storm. Not great, but it was good enough to send them back. That was a, hey Zerg, I've got storm. You really want to hang out right here in this little storm-sized choke? And Styx decided not to. Lurker tech on the way. Another hatchery. It's going to bring the hatch count to 6. And here comes the DT. Now, one of the fun things to do is, even if it's able to be seen, and oh, there are Hydras and Overlords here, though. Okay, it's not going to get anything done over here. Okay, second cannon is finally warping in. And he's kind of containing the Protoss again. Alright, this looks a lot like last game. He's going to go in here. He might knock this forge out before this upgrade is complete. Oh yeah, it's totally going down. So that was a good pick. I think that was armor. Yeah, he's got +1 weapons right now. He had armor on the way. Uh-oh, am I losing Overlord? Okay, that was cool. Dang it, I wish I had been watching it. I saw him walk that DT all the way up and around here, which, you know, is really no different than walking up the front when there's already an Overlord there. But I bet it got a couple kills. Alright, metric F-ton of Zealot. Zealots running up here. Do pick off a bunch of Hydras. We got more rallying down here from the main base. The whole Zealot army gets kind of pulled over here by those Zerglings, but these Storms doing a good amount of damage, but also damaging a lot of Zealots. Okay, the Hydras are going to be coming back in. He's still kind of stuck here, but he is trying to gain some space. He's trying to make sure that he can at least keep these Hydras off his back. There's no more cannons, right? Like, cannon tech is gone. Has he even remade his forge? He hasn't. Okay, he's got double forge being built over here at the third base. So we're a long way off from +1 armor. Now, if we check the upgrades here, we got +1 with +2 on the way. And now we've got Lurkers. Lurkers are out. Now, these Storms are going to be highly valuable right now, but we're already prepared with Observers this round, which is a little bit better for Mevius than it was last game, where the Observers didn't show up until the Lurkers were already basically in the natural. And he's got a couple, so they're not going to be sniped so easily, and he also has a whole grip of Corsairs keeping the Overlords away. So he's going to be able to see Lurkers during this whole engagement. But unfortunately, there's just so many. 6 Lurkers coming in here, going to close the distance as soon as that gateway goes down. It's going to get right here in the mineral line. Ooh, and that's also where the robotics facility is. Oh no, these High Templar are going at a huge storm. Oh, but it's just not enough. Mevius GG's, and Styx is going to take the series 2-0. Great games, and that does mean that Styx will go on to the lower bracket semifinals, and Mevius will be out of Brood War Tournament number 5. And so that's going to be it for tonight. That was a just nice short cast. I'm trying to catch up on these. This is Brood War Tournament number 5. I think we're on Brood War Tournament number 20 as far as signups go. And if you're unfamiliar with StarCraft Underground, it's just a hyper-casual league of all MMRs with an internal promotion system for Brood War and StarCraft 2. There's always a tournament to sign up for. You can sign up for as many as you want. We've got players playing in like 10 tournaments at a time. And then, you kind of gain the ranks within it, and it's a really cool community. So anyway, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching.